welcome back to my channel, Healing with Kearra. So, as promised, I'm back with a pick a card reading looking at what is coming towards you. Yeah, that's what I said it would be called, what is coming towards you. So yeah, Venus is in retrograde. So I did make a video a few days ago on the energy surrounding the Venus retrograde and talking about that a little bit. So I'll have that link in the description box. And I also did a video a few weeks ago on the pre-shadow phase and the energy surrounding all of that and what could be kind of coming up before the Venus retrograde. So if you're curious, give that a listen too, and you can see if how accurate I was. I didn't have a microphone yet when I did that video, so I'm sorry, it's kind of quiet, but it's a pretty cool reading. So yeah, you can check those out. Also did like a July pick a card, and I mentioned a little bit about the Venus retrograde in that. So you can find that somewhere on my channel too, or I may link it in the description box as well. So yeah, pile one, we're using the Tarot de Luz, the Tarot of Light right here. So hopefully you can see them here. And then pile two, we're using the Tarot Carlotydes here. So these are made by the same person. I got them both from Portugal on Etsy, and I'll have both of them linked in the description box below. So we're just going to just pull 3 cards to kind of see what's coming towards you, what's going on, and then maybe some oracle cards, whatever I feel called. And yeah, let's get right into it. So starting with the Tarot of Light here. And the sun's going down, so it's going to get dark outside. So sorry if the lighting changes here. Okay, so we're looking into what is coming towards you in regards to the current Venus retrograde. Ooh. Okay, so we have the Fool, the bottom of the deck. So that's like new things starting, new beginnings. The third eye has like the heart here. So it's like, yeah, taking a leap towards new passionate beginnings here. We also have the Queen of Pentacles. I see someone like holding something close to their chest or close to their heart, or it's like really dearly being like kind of emotional about something, trying to balance the emotions because you are like it's so dear to you, or it's so meaningful to you. It's like trying to balance out the emotions, taking a leap here, gaining some sort of perspective, pursuing something you feel really, really passionate about. That's all what I'm picking up from the bottom of the deck. I'm also seeing the sun coming in, so it's like a light shining in on like a situation that could have been really difficult to find. It could have been really difficult to get composure over your feelings here, or if you had to like lose something or let go of something that was really, really dear to you or that you were hanging on to for a long time, it could have been hard to find a balance here or gain composure over yourself, or like find the will to release something. And then now it's like stepping into something unknown or taking a leap into something unknown that you still feel really passionate towards. Ooh, we have the Knight of Pentacles. So it's like there's a mission here. This person, with the way that it's like the divine and this person are working in sync to move them forward towards a greater goal here. There's like a bigger vision, working towards something um, that you see with like a lot of potential and a lot of hope, but also something that you feel guided towards or led towards or divinely guided to. Um, yeah, with the owl is like getting the messages, or it's like you've collected some sort of wisdom, so now you have some sort of vision or foresight of how to move forward towards a goal or something that you're really drawn to or attracted to, something you really desire, or something you look at to be really, really valuable, or it's just really alluring, like really out of this world. So you're like, oh, I got to get there. I got to have that. You've been really building or working towards it for a long time. You've been like gaining the knowledge or the wisdom to go in this direction for a long time. And now you feel like spirit is like co-creating with you to help carry you and guide you towards your vision or your hopes, or something that you would really hope to achieve or that you've been working towards and building towards over time. Like with all of this around the horse here, like you could have felt held down, or like you didn't have any support at one time, or there was just like yeah, there was like things like blocking you or holding you down. It's like the divine wasn't really stepping in to help carry you forward. Like you felt stuck. It wasn't the right time. And then there was like this huge gust of energy and this huge burst of like wind that kind of pushed everything forward. And then it's like now you're able to kind of grow into a new person as you are move forward towards this. And it's like the timing is finally right. So then the divine is helping carry you forward or move you forward, or giving you some sort of way to move yourself forward towards something, um, yeah, that's intended towards you. This person also has the heart on their third eye. So it's like um, taking a leap of faith here and knowing that the divine is going to work with you or help carry you or have your back, or take you where you need to go, help communicate with you and give you the messages that you need. It's like even it's like you may not be able to see the whole picture, but you have the vision because you're being divinely led, divinely guided. You're listening to spirit on how exactly to move forward, what exactly to do. You're like open to the signs and the messages around you. Yeah, you like know you're not alone here. With the eye, it's like you're trusting in this sight or this vision or this understanding that's outside of yourself here, and like allowing that to carry you forward. So yeah, that's like your motivation is like, even though you can't see something, you're taking a leap here. Yeah, you could have been really just like clinging to something in the past, or there could have been something that you were really hanging on to. So it was like it made you sad to think about doing this, but then it's like you suddenly got this clarity with the eye here and then the vision. It's like you suddenly got this clarity on how to move forward, and then it was like the right timing, so the universe stepped in to help you here. So we have the sun and the Six of Wands in the reverse, because yeah, I was definitely picking up on this energy before, like how I noticed the sun and then there was like the Fool. right away I picked up on this energy. Oh, and then there's like these Saturns all around this girl. So it's like the lessons of the past and the wisdom that you gained from when you were held down in the past are like what's helped carrying you forward. Because it's like it took a long time to gain this mental clarity. Before, you couldn't see things. Like things weren't clear. You didn't have perspective. You couldn't see the direction to go in. You couldn't see the way out. You couldn't see, it's like you were still with all these planets here connected to the eye. It's like you were still learning. You were still in the process of like learning your lessons and going through things. And then all of the wands all around is kind of like this person can't see anything that's around them, because they're so focused on like what's going on with their third eye here. It's like all the lessons and all of the like there was all these different paths and all this with all the different planets. There was all these different energies you needed to learn how to work into your life, and it's like your compassion and just all of these different like elements and parts of yourself and your sensitivity were like learning to grow, and you were learning how to voice them. And um yeah, like how I was seeing on this card, it's like you were being purposely held down. It's like you felt like the universe wasn't, spirit wasn't like creating with you or helping you move forward, so you just felt stuck. But it was like a mental blockage. Like it was just not the right time, so spirit was like purposely keeping you in the position you needed to be in, and so you could learn the lessons that you needed to learn, or go through certain experiences that you need to go through in order to get to where you are now. So now there's this like wisdom here. And then that's what I was getting. It's like now you're open to like spirit more and listening to spirit. And um, when spirit is guiding you on your path, there's more of like a trust here because you've went on this journey where spirit has kind of like built you up. So as you have a lot more faith here, right? You don't need to see the full picture now in order to take the leap. You're just going to trust spirit because you've went on this journey and that you've been put in these certain positions and purposely held in certain places or in certain positions that are uncomfortable or at a disadvantage or something that you wouldn't have chosen for yourself, right? So that you could see spirit work in your life, and do certain things and move you out of things. It's like you had to be put in a position where you couldn't just save yourself or just get yourself out of it. You had to be uncomfortable for a while and go through things that you wouldn't have picked to go through or chosen to go through if you had another way out, right? So spirit like purposely put you in this position, um, where you were forced to like address things in a certain type of way and learn these certain lessons and go through things and learn that it's like okay to let go of certain things, right? Oh, to let go of certain things and to like there could have been something else you were clinging on to, so you were so scared to let this go and take this jump. But it's like spirit was purposely keeping you held down in a certain position and not like giving you a way out or letting you see the way out, because one, it wasn't the right timing, but two, through being in these positions and then making a way out for you and working in your life and doing all these things, I'm hearing it just helped build your faith. Like you were put in certain positions that yeah, specifically, it's like you wouldn't have made it out if it wasn't for God. So it's like God purposely, worked in your life in order to show you, like who's really in control or who has the power here. And so it's like you have this greater trust in the divine and like the bigger picture of how things work and how things all come together and how everything's kind of like working in your favor. So even when things don't look very good on the outside or something looks kind of messy or it's not your favorite or what you would have chosen, how you would choose to go about things, it's like you have this trust or understanding, this faith now, that there is a plan, there's a bigger picture, God is working here. And so it's like getting out of your own way and like letting God help you and do things for you and work in your life. And um, yeah, I'm just getting you were like purposely put in situations where you were like lacking and uncomfortable, but you couldn't do anything about the uncomfortability because you were lacking. So it was like purposely set up so then God could come in, spirit could come in, work for you here And so now you have this innate wisdom, like you don't get as riled up, or you don't get like, you're not like, okay, but what about the next move? What about this? What about that? When is this going to happen? There's less of this like questioning, and there's more of this just like humble understanding and faith, and knowing that like God is going to come through for you. So it's like all the wisdom of everything you learned here is like all around you here, like helping carry you forward and keeping you safe, and just keeping you. It's like you learn how to be like the calm in the storm here. Like no matter what's going on, you know that there's like a greater plan here, right? There's a bigger picture. There's like a vision outside of yourself to see. Even when you can't see, you know that spirit is like helping carry you forward, and is always working with you and helping carry you towards your goals. And it's always going to be like, you know, the thing that is best for you, or the thing that, you know, the divine spirit God would have in mind for you. um so yeah, they're trying to help you here. And but also with the Knight of Pentacles, it's like sometimes it just takes a long time, or it's a long process, or it can be a while before we can see the fruition of something here. It's like this really slow moving energy, but again, that was part of the process of what spirit was putting you through in order to build your faith, and to build, yeah, this like understanding of like, you know, maybe, you know, spirit told you something was going to manifest in your life, and then it like didn't happen. And so it was like you trying to build your faith, so that whenever it did happen, you were just like, okay, you know, sometimes it just takes a little bit of patience. Sometimes you can't see what's going on right in that moment, but it doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. And maybe I just need to learn a little bit more of my lessons here. I need to learn how to trust the universe, and um, yeah, look at things through my third eye here instead of my actual eyes. It's like your third eye was like learning lessons here. And so it's some, maybe it didn't always make sense. Yeah, your intuition and like your trust in the divine was like going through all of these cycles and learning all of these lessons and growing and like opening up here. And so it doesn't always make sense with like your human eyes what is happening in your life on paper. But yeah, spirit always has a bigger plan. He's always teaching us something and working in our life in some way. So sometimes we don't get the things that we want, or the things that we're really working towards. It doesn't actually manifest or pop off for us until the right moment, so that you can, so that spirit can do it in such a way so that you will see God's works in your life. um Yeah, so we have the Knave of Cups in the reverse, and then we have the Knight of Swords. So what I'm getting from this with the Knight of Swords, the way it's like the bird, okay, so right away with the Knave of Cups, if certain people came forward here, like with the heart and then like the arrow, if, okay, if there were certain people who came forward and tried to help you, say certain people tried to step in and help you, like whatever your goal is or whatever's going on here, there's certain people, because I guess the question is what is coming towards you. So I was going to say in the past, certain people have like came in and tried to help you here and tried to assist you, or try and be like maybe you were codependent on others in the past, but they weren't actually fully emotionally mature, or like really in that place in their life to be able to fully support you or be stable. And so it just didn't take you as very far, or like really get you where you wanted to go. But they were also in like a codependent energy because they're more emotionally immature. And so it looks good, or it looks like, okay, this person's going to help me, or this is going to be my way out, or this is like the universe's way of coming in to assist, or this is, it's like you got a lot of signs and you felt really led, but it was like you had rose colored glasses on, or there was like an illusion here. You couldn't see that this person wasn't fully like matured to where they needed to be yet. Um, so like, yeah, if in the past someone else tried to come in and kind of help you here, it's like you didn't really fall for their offer, or whatever this person was trying to do. It's like you had your heart set on something, or you had a certain wish, and you knew that you needed like spirit's assistance in order to carry you forward, or to navigate something, or to go through something. You knew that you wouldn't be able to do it on your own, or you could like somehow see something here that is like that wasn't going to help you, or that wasn't going to really get you where you needed to go. You felt like it was like only spirit who could carry you forward, right? With like the wish upon a wishing star. It's like not your average everyday thing you were trying to work towards, or maybe you had made a lot of sacrifices up to this point, and so it's like you could see this person wasn't fully ready, or yeah, I'm just getting there could have been like a specific like person or situation or like offer in the past that it ended up coming out here that it like wasn't fully matured, or they weren't really where they said they were, where they needed to be, or they weren't able to kind of help guide you in the direction you needed to go. Like you felt like partnering up with this person or going along the journey, it's like you felt like you were already farther along in your journey, and like going along with this person would like kind of set you back. Like you didn't need to start over as a page. Once you kind of took off the rose colored glasses, you could see here like yes, this person has an offer for you, or they're trying to help you or come with you or something, but it's like they're not really ready to be where you are, and so it would kind of like you would have to set yourself back emotionally to go along with them or something. So it's like you chose to just trust in spirit to carry you forward, or to help you, or to show you how to navigate this, or to like give you what you needed to move through it. It's like there was something very specific and tactful here that you felt like you were going to have to specifically navigate, and so you felt as though you needed to be like properly armed, or you needed this like divine assistance to kind of carry you over the situation, to shelter you and protect you. But then I'm also getting for like the what's coming towards you for Venus retrograde is this could be a future thing. Everything I'm talking about here, there could be someone that comes along in the future that tries, they do have like a genuine love offer here, and they are like um I am seeing like they do have compassion. Like I'm not picking up that this person's like a bad person, or they have devious intentions, or like you need to protect your heart from them, or like um yeah, with anything with this arrow in their heart here, like this person will be really hurt um by the fact that like you don't choose them, or you decline their offer, or you choose not to go along with them, or let them come along with you, or um whatever, like Cupid's arrow like doesn't reciprocate or something, and it's if anything, it will really hurt this person. But it's like once you take off rose colored glasses and see the situation for what it is, you can see that they're still like in their page energy. It's like they're not fully developed to where they need to be to help take you where you're trying to go. Or it's like you're going to see here that spirit is actually the best vehicle or avenue here. It's like because of what you've went through here, like I was saying, this wisdom now that's helped carrying you forward. It's like you could have, like I said, really hung on to something in the past, and it took you a really long time to be able to like let this go and have this faith here. So now that you do, it's like the wisdom. Wow, that was crazy thunder. How powerful, how powerful. Like it's going to be like this like divine like powerful moment. But now that you do have this wisdom here and this understanding, it's like like I said, you have more faith now that spirit is going to help get you where you're trying to go. And it's like the divine timing here. So spirit is like stepping in to work with you here, and you can see things clearly now, and everything is kind of like turned around for you here, and you've went through a lot of things and learned a lot of lessons, right? You've already went through so much on your journey that you're not going to want to like backtrack to the level that you need to be at emotionally to like go along with this person, even though like there's going to be people that come up in our lives that they do really like us or care about us, or they do have a genuine offer. It's just they're not really ready yet, they're not matured to where they need to be in their life to be where we're at. They haven't went through the experiences that you went through. They don't have the level of faith that you have. Like they're just not somewhere in their emotional development, they're not in the same place that you're at in their journey. So even though they're coming forward and they want to like come along with you or learn with you or grow with you or offer you something, or try and help you in some way, is like you can see here, because of like the growth or the lessons that you've learned and the things that you've overcome on your journey, you're like ready to go into this next level or this next step and like trust in the divine and like jump with the divine here. It's like you've already went through your phase of like being unclear about things, and yeah, not having full clarity on a situation, or just not like being able to fully see everything that's going on. And so it's like you're gonna choose not to emotionally backtrack here to try and like um help this person come along. Or it's like maybe in the past you would have chose to like be like, oh well, then I can help like teach them, or I can help like um open their mind too, or I can like get them to where I'm at. Or you just like want to bring people along with you, but it's like you've been through a lot here, you've had to learn a lot. It's like you've been through a lot of really really hard lessons, and it's like really molded you specifically into this certain person, and given you this, I'm hearing it's given you this certain vision in life and this certain outlook on life. And so your goals and everything about what you're doing is like built different. It's like a higher level thinking here, and just a higher level way of going about things. It's like the goals and the places and the people that like God would have in mind for you, or the divine would have in mind for you, are um they're just different. They're of a higher consciousness, or just a higher, you're on a different path, right? Like you've had to go through um like I said, some really difficult and challenging things, but it's your soul, it's like really helped your soul to grow and mature here. And you've learned, it's like you've, even just in one lifetime, I'm hearing you've learned like many, many lifetimes of wisdom, and you just have this very, very deep sense of faith. And so that's this very specific worldview. You've learned how to like let go of it. Also, I'm hearing maybe like learning how to let go of the world and the more materialistic things. Like now that you've went on this journey, it's like whatever you're moving towards here, it's just of a higher mind. And so you're no longer clinging to or hanging on to like the materialistic things of this world. It's like you're able to let go of that, and like go on your spiritual journey. So yeah, the journey that you're on, the vision that you have, the life that you're trying to build, or that you've been trying to work towards here, uh, it's like not going to be for everybody, right? It's not everybody has went on that journey, learned those lessons. So not everyone's going to share the same worldview that you do. Not so it's not going to work for everyone to be able to come with you, or to go. From your perspective, you're like, well, I can just teach them everything I've learned. But it's one thing to actually just sit there and try and explain it to someone, and like teach them these concepts, or this perspective that you now have, or this understanding, or this, but it's like it's this wisdom that has been built in you over time, like slowly, this whole journey that you went on. It would be kind of like impossible for someone who's never had those experiences, or isn't to that point yet. It would be impossible to like sit them down and literally explain to them every single experience that you went on, and like why you learn. And even like you can like break it down and explain to them like, this is why this helped build my faith, but it's like they have to go through it themselves, or they have to get through it themselves too. Or so yeah, whether this was like someone in the past, and you like gained clarity here, so you chose to like let spirit carry you forward and through this, and like to your goals or whatever. Or this is going to come up. It could be a combination of both, right? Like this could be something you were struggling with in the pre-shadow, and then you kind of had to release it, and then they're going to come back up again, right, in the retrograde. And then you'll be like, but it's like you already released this, like you already saw. It's like this situation already proved to you that they like weren't at your level, or you weren't able to connect emotionally in certain ways. That's another thing I'm hearing. It's like because they're lacking certain life experiences, or certain ways they haven't been able to grow and mature. They just haven't had the opportunity yet. So they could literally be like younger too. They could be younger than you, or if you are like young, or if you're the same age, you could have just, for whatever reason, you just have a lot of unique life experiences. Like you've been through a lot of certain specific things, or you just have more experience doing certain like adult things or whatever. Like just your path or your experience was really unique, and so then certain things you went through like made you like older or more mature for your age. And so now you're like already over stuff your people your own age are doing, and you're already towards like higher level goals, like more conscious. um so yeah, either way, uh But yeah, there's some way here where it's like the situation proved to you that it's like you can't connect, yeah, because they don't have the experience that you do, or they're not, like I said, they just haven't had the opportunity to mature and grow in certain ways and see certain things and go through certain emotional experiences here. So then there's just certain ways where the emotional connection is lacking. There's certain ways where you can't quite connect emotionally, you can't quite open up to them, and then there's just that feeling that you share here. I'm also seeing here how there's like one arrow that is in the heart, and then there's like two on the ground. So there's like some things that you can connect on, or maybe you have good conversation, or you enjoy each other in some ways, or there's something that you really did like about them, or they made you feel really good in some ways. But then there's like other ways that are lacking, and that like kind of outshines it or outbalances it. Like there's just certain things that are missing, or certain things that are lacking, or there's certain ways, like I said, that you can't fully connect with this person. They can't fully like see you for where you are on your journey in some way. And so yeah, like just some level of like the intimacy is lacking, or um yeah, some way where you just can't quite fully connect with them emotionally, so you can't take the relationship to the next level, to like where you really desire to be in a relationship. Or you just know, yeah, because something that's lacking in the emotional connection, like you're not going to be able to take it to the next level, or you're not going to be able to take them on um your journey. Like there's something, it's like they don't have their mind isn't quite as open as yours. They don't have the like blind faith that you do. So they're not going to be able to go with you all the way on this certain path that you're going on. So it's like you either have already kind of seen that for yourself, or spirit is kind of showing you that right now, or maybe, like I said, you have already seen that for yourself and learned that for yourself, so you've released this, but then it's coming back up. So then again, it's kind of testing your faith, because then you're going to be like, oh well, maybe it's meant to be if they're coming back around. But then it's like you already like decided within yourself, like something already happened that gave you that clarity, right, where you saw they're not going to be able to like fully go all the way with me, or they're not going to be able to go all the way to the level of where I'm trying to pursue my dreams. Or it's like, yeah, spirit has really communicated with you, like certain you have certain dreams and certain plans and certain things that have been like kind of put on your heart. And it's like, you have to take this leap forward and just choose to go on that journey, right? You have to be able to let go of something here. So maybe this person is also a part of this stuff here that you were like clinging on to and like letting go here, but also possibly not. This could just be like a new person that comes in and like wants to help you on your journey here. But it's like you realize that you need to kind of just like take this leap here and trust in spirit to like have your back and carry you forward. And like spirit is it's the right vehicle to get you to the destination of like where you really really desire to go. So even if you have to kind of like make this jump by yourself or on your own, then you're still gonna like, yeah, it's like you're gonna be carried forward, and you're gonna get where you want to go. Like you had a goal in mind, and there's like nothing stopping you here from getting to where you were going to go. This is the key oracle. We have abundance, security. Money is energy like anything else. You want it to flow and not feel trapped. Trusting that the universe will take care of you gives off the energy of abundance and expectancy in every dollar you receive. Know that you are supported and the money will flow. So, yeah, in the past, like when you felt like the universe wasn't stepping in and helping you, that could have been part of what was kind of blocking you. So, it's like spirit could have actually seriously not been stepping in because it was like not the right time. But then you kind of took that on, this energy of like, oh, um I'm struggling, I'm stuck, spirit's not helping me. And so then that was like then also blocking you from things all being able to come together and it from being the right time. And so it was like this weird thing where you had to learn how to really let go and like balance those emotions and find that trust in spirit, and like take that leap, right, and know that you are guided, like spirit is with you, that is going to help carry you forward. There isn't a lack here, like you don't need to like be sad or feel like spirit doesn't have your back or spirit's ignoring you, or yeah, you could have just been caught in that cycle where um but then yeah, having this perspective here, like it's like you were specifically, put in that position. It's like spirit knew exactly how to like regain your faith and help guide you out of that situation. So yeah, you went from being like held down or feeling stuck or feeling like um you weren't being taken care of or things weren't working out for you, or it's like all of a sudden all at once the clouds are literally like have this like blowing energy, if you can see. It's like all at once, as soon as you gain this like mental strength here and this control over your perspective, then it's like all at once spirit just like gave you a push and like helped you kind of go for it. So maybe you could have felt like, okay, like you could have like lost your faith a little bit and just felt like, okay, I'm not being taken care of. Like none of this is working out for me. Like you kind of abandoned your spiritual path and like maybe pursued something else for a minute. And then right away you're like, okay, this isn't going to work out. Like this person is not, they're just not like they're not on their spiritual path. So then that also means they're not like emotionally developed to the level that you need a partner to be at. So you're like, this isn't going to get me where I want to go. So then it made you realize you should have been more patient, you should have been more trusting on spirit, you should have waited for the right moment for spirit to carry you forward into the thing that you really wanted to be with, so it would be like more emotionally compatible with you, more on your level. You could have like a better emotional connection with that person, and a lot of what you were saying to them wouldn't just like miss or like be really awkward or just like fall flat. um yeah, like spirit's taking you to like what you actually really want here. Like you don't have to settle for something that's not really where you are, not fully developed, or not emotionally matured to the level that you need it to be. You don't need to settle for like the quality of life or relationship that you have here. It's like you can trust that spirit is going to take you where you need to go and get you in the right situations, whether that's relationships or money or jobs or anything. Yeah, you could have just been like, okay, maybe you couldn't find, you weren't getting hired, you weren't getting accepted anywhere, any jobs, and so you felt like you needed to settle like for a minute. Then you started this job for like 3 days and you were like, this is so not going to work out. Like I'm so much farther along in this than my path. Like I could be doing so much more. Like this is literally just not going to work. So it's like you had to like really let go of something and totally trust that the universe was going to take care of you and support you through this and actually help you. And so then you were like, okay, I'm going to go for my dreams again. Like screw it. I'm going to start my own business or invest in whatever I've been holding back on. Or it's like spirit wasn't letting you get those jobs, or spirit was telling you no because you had dreams that were higher and spirit wanted you to go for that instead, right? And so it was like purposely putting you in a position of lack so that spirit could work in your life, and then you could see that and it would build your faith and build your trust, and you would choose to like let that carry you forward here and not like settle for something that isn't quite ready for you, whether it's like a work relationship, a job relationship. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I just said the same thing. Like a work or job thing, or like an actual relationship. Either way. Decisions in fear, control. Some decisions and choices that you have made are based in fear and not heart centered knowledge. Fear is your ego wanting control. Take a step back and make a responsive choice rather than a reactive one. Then you're able to see the truth of the best choice with a calm and centered manner. So, this was the bottom of the deck, right? The card about money. And then we have this is the decisions in fear. So yeah, like you could have literally got scared, like, okay, I'm not gonna be able to pay my bills. Oh my God, this isn't gonna work. And then you tried to do something else, and then you're like, actually, that's not gonna work. I'm gonna have to take this leap of faith here and just go for it. And I don't know if this is gonna work out. I don't know if this is gonna be prosperous. I don't know if people are going to buy it or go for it or it's going to make money, but it's like spirit just gave you this push and like helped carry you forward here, because there's like a goal, there's a dream, there's a vision, there's something higher, like bigger than you, that you're really trying to work towards. But it's like you're blocking yourself from, because yeah, there was like this fear that spirit wasn't going to take care of you, they weren't going to step in, they weren't going to help you. So yeah, if you were trying to like get something built, like a business or something like that, at first it maybe wasn't working out, and then spirit was just kind of testing your faith to see like, okay, are you going to hold the vision, or are you going to stay faithful, or are you going to put in the work, or are you going to like be tempted and try and let other things help you out, or let other, avenues help you out and do all this stuff and try and like take it into your own hands here, or yeah, like you just be worried God's not going to come through, he's not going to provide. And so it's like maybe you tried to do that and then that didn't work out, you were like, they're not nearly where I need someone to be in order, so then you're like, okay, that's definitely not going to work out. So then you had to shift your focus here, and then as soon as you did that, then the divine, it was like just like that lightning burst that we had in the video, the divine just like stepped in, and then it's like boom, clarity. It's like you suddenly could see a way and see through and know what to do again. And so it's like I heard in the beginning, the whole thing has just helped to build your faith, right? And build your faith in the divine and your path and your dreams and your intentions and like what you're going towards. So yeah, it could be like a job or a business or something you were working towards, or like a relationship, or something. And so then yeah, you could have like, with this energy here, it's like you could have, I'm getting multiple scenarios. So it's like you could have not trusted the divine to help you or to step in or to do something, like I've been saying. So you tried to like take someone else's advice or let someone else help you, or you tried to go down a different avenue, and then you realize like that's actually going to set me way far back from where I'm trying to be or what I'm trying to do. Um, or like yeah, like it wasn't taking off, or it wasn't getting to where you wanted to go. And so, or like yeah, you just weren't getting hired, you weren't getting the job, people weren't, if it's like a song or a movie or something, people weren't buying it, people weren't going for it, no one wanted to produce it, like no one could see your vision, right? It's like you were just getting no's, like closed door, closed door. Yeah, people just turning the lights off on you. Like it was just like, yeah, people couldn't see it. People couldn't see it. It was just like, no, no, no. Like you had to really hold the faith. So you could have like, yeah, tested out, like doing something else, kind of giving up, in some sort of a way. Like you didn't see it as that, but it's just like, yeah, taking some other offer or some other job, or almost like folding and doing something in a different type of way because someone else was giving you that advice. But it's like that other person just couldn't see like the full perspective. And like, yeah, God was working in your life, like I said, to purposely like, yeah, put you in that position of lack. And so then you would trust in him more, have faith in your spiritual team even more, to know like, and then that's going to help you that much more while you're in this endeavor or in this relationship or whatever it is. It's like anytime you're tested or anything comes along, it's going to be that much easier to hold the vision and hold the faith, stay faithful, and trust that like the spirit divine, whatever, is going to step in and help you and assist you and guide you and give you exactly what you need. And so um yeah, you don't need to like give up or take things in your own hands or think like, oh, this isn't going to work out or spirit's not going to come through. Like if, yeah, if it's something that you like were told in some way that this is how it's going to be, it's like you have to be able to like hold that vision or hold that faith. And like even whenever other people around you can't, you have to be strong enough to be able to let spirit like work in the environment around you to help guide you and put you in the positions or put you around the people that can see your vision, right? And are going to help get you to where you need to go. And so it's like there could be 100 no's, and then there's going to be that one yes, and that one person that says yes, or that one thing that works out is going to be like the person that happens to have the best connections and the most. I'm hearing like a song scenario, right? So say, just to give you a scenario for whatever it is, like say it's a song and you go to a bunch of different labels and they all say, no, that song sucks, no, 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 that's not going to be a hit, no, 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 we hate that, no, 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 it's not going to be on the radio, no, 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 no. And then the one place you go that says yes has the best connections, they know the best people, like they have the best avenue to fast track your song. It's like the right person was in there that had the right ears to hear and could see and hear the vision. And that just so happens to be the perfect place for you to be able to do that, right? And so then they're going to have the connections, and then your song is going to like rise to number one like instantly. And like I hear you hear so many like artists or people that's like how they get big or they get famous, is that something like that happens, right? And then it's like that one person, or movies, it's like everyone hated that movie and then one person finally produces it and it's like the one of the best movies ever. Or like with I don't know if it was Picasso or Van Gogh, or one of them, one of the really famous artists that like everybody hated him when he was alive. Everyone hated his work. Like he was like poor. You know what I mean? Like no one even cared. And then now it's like we pay that he's one of the most famous world renowned artists like today still. I can't. It may not even be either one of those, but anyways, I'm just getting a lot of those type of scenarios where it's just like, yeah, a lot of people that couldn't see your vision, so you really had to hold the faith and not let anyone else deter you, or not take anyone else's advice, not settle in any way, not try and go in any other directions that weren't gonna fully like fill your cup, or like, yeah, get you to exactly where you were trying to go. um let's get one oracle card. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's honestly a lot, but we're gonna take all of them. Okay. Whew. So, y'all, this is crazy energy here. So we have release. So yeah, this is like anything that needs to be cut out of your life, or yeah, you know exactly what it is. You can feel it, you can sense it, you already know, right? You already know. So you know exactly what it is that you need to release and cut out of your life here. Exactly what's not serving you, exactly what's not helping you get to where you want to go and achieve like your goals and stuff here. So we have transmute. So this is like shedding old skins, right? Moving in new directions here, cycles. We have the talisman. So this is all about like the key to new doors opening, right? So it's like the doors were closed. They were not being opened. You felt like spirit was not helping you to open them. And you felt like, oh my gosh, if this isn't going to work, then I'm also getting like, you were being tested to be like, okay, well, are you going to do anything snaky or shady, or um, do anything funky here in order to try and get through before spirit says, right? When it's not the right time. It's like you were kind of being tested here to see like how you were going to react or what you were going to do. But maybe you saw exactly what you needed to release, or you like chose not to be snaky or to be shady here, or you chose to cut certain people out that were going to lure you to do that, or yeah, so that's another thing I'm getting, because it's like, yeah, you were being tested to see if you were going to try and like force your way in, or take things into your own hands here, and yeah, like prematurely try and open doors or do things when the timing wasn't right. It's like spirit maybe gave you that free will, but then right away you saw these situations were like not going to work out for you, or they weren't like ready to be where you needed them to be or whatever. So it's like you chose to shed these skins instead and like walk away from this behavior pattern, this cycle here, like move forward, move out of it, release certain things that you felt called to release or you need to release. And then, but yeah, this key is all about like new doors being opened. And it's like waiting on the right timing in order to be able to step through. It's like new doors opening, new opportunities. It's like finally being given the key that you need to get where you need to go, right? So like I was saying before, I was literally getting images of like a bunch of closed doors, closed doors, closed doors, closed doors, and then finally it's a yes. And that person is like, that person that's going to be the yes is the specific right connection that takes you exactly to the top or exactly in this most ideal place that you could possibly go. It's like getting you in the rooms that you need to get in order to make the connections that you need to make. Like it's a bigger door opening than you really thought or you could really see here. So you had to really wait for the right timing or you were really tested in some way and then things had to unfold, so now it's the right timing. But yeah, it was just like all about like things had to be the way that they did and like go about each step. It had to be like kind of things had to go the way they did or be the way that they were at that time, uh in order to like specifically get you to where you are now, right? God had a specific plan or agenda to um build your faith, right? To like put you in a certain position, test you, tempt you, and then move in with his hand and do works and specifically help guide you and lead you out of situations in order to build your faith and to show you how much the universe, spirit, your angels, any of that can really work in your life and guide you, how much you can rely on them rather than relying on yourself. Um, yeah, that's all I have for pile one. Thank you. All right. So we're using the Tarot Carlotydes. So yeah, we're just gonna get 3 cards and look into what is coming towards you. Yeah, what's coming towards you in regards to the current Venus retrograde that we are going through right now. So we have the King of Swords, the bottom of the deck. He has his mouth covered. So, ooh, what I'm hearing is like, ooh, it's like someone understands here, it could be you, that you have this understanding that Sometimes silence is power. Keeping quiet, keeping information to yourself, keeping something in, um, says more, speaks volumes, is more powerful. Um, there's like this inner composure here, inner understanding about like the Buddhas or the monks that like don't talk. Um, and they're like so deep and wise here. They have like such a strong understanding of life that they almost just don't even share anything or say anything because they're so like humble here, or um yeah, they just understand that like silence is more powerful, or silence speaks volumes, or when you're not saying something you're actually saying more, or not saying something delivers a stronger, more powerful message, or sometimes not saying something or ignoring something is actually more cutthroat. Silence speaks volumes, like silence speaks louder. Silence carries a heavier punch here too, like okay, rather than going and fighting and like communicating your battle, or like yeah, rather than going head to head to someone, head to head with someone, battling someone, dueling it out with the sword, it's like choosing to stay in a position of power, stand your ground, um, choosing not to react, not to like give someone your drama here, keeping like cool and composed. So to the other person, you may have like a cold, um, but it's like you're choosing not to like, yeah, I'm just getting, you're choosing not to react, you're choosing not to give this person any sort of emotional power over you, um, choosing not to get like riled up and go off. It's like keeping your words to yourself in order to like preserve yourself, or it's like uh yeah, it's like keeping yourself in a position of power by like holding your tongue and not saying something right now, because maybe you'll be able to like say more, or speak more clearly, or speak from a more powerful place, or a more convincing place in the future. So it's like choosing to stay silent about something for now. I'm not getting this like choosing to stay silent in order to keep the peace, but I'm just getting, it's like this one party here can have this understanding that that's like the best way to handle a situation right now, or the best way to like keep their power here. And then another party could be seeing this as very, very cold, or like the other person just like doesn't care. So we have the Ace of Wands. So like, ooh, and then the Nine of Swords underneath that. Totally. So there could be one person who's trying to like kind of start drama, or like there could be one party that's literally trying to stir passions up, and then another party that's just choosing not to react, choosing not to say anything. Um, choosing to just like keep to themselves here, and the other person's trying to, I'm hearing like emotionally manipulate, like the other there's one party that's trying to like purposely instigate certain feelings of passion in the other person by like doing certain things. They could be trying to use certain like sexual nature, or just like their more sensual nature, or like they're using their own passionate nature in order to trigger like passionate emotional reactions. But one person is like gained their composure here, like they're coming across like they're almost cold because they're not letting the other party have any power over them, power over the way they communicate, power over the way they react. They're like choosing not to fight with someone, not to go into battle, not to freak out, not to get all overly emotional, not to get overly passionate here and like speak from that place. Like they're speaking, they're choosing to come from a place of like clarity. Like they feel like just holding back and not saying anything, like I said, says more, like speaks volumes, or like gets their message across more clearly. But then the other party just feels like they're just being really cold and they just don't care. It's like no matter what they're doing here doesn't work. They just don't care. They feel like they don't, you know, yeah, one person feels like the other party just doesn't have like those feelings for them anymore. Like no matter what they do, they can't like trigger them, or like stir that up for them, or rile them up the same way they use. Like you don't, they don't, one party doesn't get like going or like get them going or get going for them in the same way that they did. That's that spark or that passion is no longer there. Like one person's just having like a wall up or having their guard up here, choosing not to say anything right now. Yeah, like choosing to stay in a position of power. So it's like not giving their power away to another person through letting their passions and their emotions get the best of them, whether it's like I'm hearing like with an argument or like the way you communicate, it's not letting their passions and emotions and desires in the moment win or get the best of them. But also it could be they're not giving in like sexually, they're not letting their passions and their desires and their emotions and how they feel, like if one party's really trying to like stir them up or trigger them or trigger those memories or passions within them, they're like coming across really cold, or like they just don't care about that anymore. They don't care to be like intimate in that way. They don't have those same feelings. That spark's not there for them anymore. Yeah, so one party's like, oh my gosh, like it's not working on them anymore. They don't like desire me in the same way, so I can't like do certain things to kind of like sway them or trigger them, or maybe they did certain things to uh like one party did certain things in order to keep. So I'm just hearing that's probably the other person, since this is like a what's coming towards you in Venus retrograde, right? Like, and you're probably this person here. But yeah, one person would keep someone in the situation by like constantly emotionally manipulating them. So it's like constantly triggering them to react in certain ways. It's like they constantly held power over the other person through uh like triggering their desires. So like they could have used like the sexual desires or the sexual nature of the relationship, or like the other person's vulnerabilities against them in order to continue to hold power over them. So it's like you feel like by just choosing to be silent and not react and not give any more to this person here, not argue or fight with this person anymore, it's like that's your way of like regaining your power, or just like keeping your power here. So this other person, like, um, yeah, before they were like, okay, they could have been kind of like triggering you in certain ways and using, yeah, like I was saying, their sexual nature, or certain desires, or using your compassionate nature, your sensitivities, or the feelings that you had for them, or like how deep you really did desire them, how passionately you cared about them. You could have been really attracted to them, really turned on by them. So they use that against you to kind of like keep you caught up in this state of anxiety here, to where it's like all of their tricks and games kind of worked. Like they had a power over you. Like they could keep you up all night, worried about them, ruminating on them, like self-medicating over them. It's like keep you from being able to move forward in your life, because then they would like re-trigger you or get a certain reaction out of you, and then it would like go back in this whole spiral. And then it's like they just kept you in this energy of like staying up all night, like anxious, like I said, self-medicating, wondering what they're doing, like writing them messages and letters here, like about how you feel. Like when they like get you really triggered and riled up here, then you could maybe, like I'm hearing, like you would go off on them and like stay up all night, like sending them all these messages all night. And like you could like, yeah, like stay up drinking or doing something here to self-medicate. And so then it's like um then you get, yeah, you get all triggered and you like really would like pour out your feelings here, like go off on them, start a fight, um like freak out. And they liked when you did this, or when you were in this energy, because then they knew they had like a power over you, they had control over you. You weren't moving forward, you weren't empowering yourself, you weren't, their games worked. Like they had, the like whatever the like sexual tension or connection or some way they like involved that in the situation too. It's like they utilize the feelings that you had for them physically and emotionally against them in some way. And then like I'm seeing, yeah, just like getting you all riled up here, like doing these things to like trigger you here. But now it's like you've chosen to get out of this energy, like you've turned your back on um all of this here, and you're no longer like focusing on this, you're no longer getting stirred up by this. It's like you're choosing to stay in your power and yeah, it's like you're realizing, instead of even like tactfully saying something, trying to outwit them, trying to win, it's like you finally realize like there's no winning the battle, and the only way to like overcome this, or to preserve your peace, or to stay in your power, or stand your ground through this, is to just keep your mouth shut, is not saying anything. It's just, you feel like just not fighting with them, not saying anything is the best way to like remove yourself and keep your peace, and like I said, like retain your power in the situation. You're not letting this other person trigger you and like giving them power over you in your life anymore. It wasn't like a conscious thing, right? But it's like it would just result in you literally staying up like all night, like checking, when they're online, or checking when they went to bed, or checking like if they texted you back, or checking their profile, or um just like sending them like all this stuff, like freaking out on them, like worrying about what they're doing. It's like whatever emotional reaction they wanted out of you, you could like you would just like then be in this energy, and like I said, like self-medicate and try and deal with this, and like just be so caught up in this. But now you're just like stone cold, like you're choosing not to react, you're not giving them that same attention. So I'm just hearing that there's like another person that's seeing that, like there's another person that's seeing like, oh my gosh, they're not reacting, they don't care, they're not getting all riled up, they're not coming at me freaking out, they're not sending me all these paragraphs about how hurt and upset they are. They're not like, maybe they're like checking your social media and they're like, oh my gosh, she doesn't even get online, let alone like stay up till 4 a.m. like thinking about me. Or um I'm not, they're not freaking out, they're not getting riled up, they're not like with the King of Swords, it's like before you would just like, when they would like trigger you or get you in your like, yeah, like stir you up somehow, then uh you would just like freak out on them, start these fights with them, like communicate your feelings towards them in a really passionate way. It's like you couldn't break out of this cycle, and then maybe the way that you would act, or like say if you would like freak out on them or yell at them or say things you would regret, you would have anxiety about that, and it made you feel bad, and then that also kind of kept you trapped in the situation. So yeah, like whenever, then you knew you were in the wrong because you would say things that you regret, and so then it was like even harder for you to get out of it. And so you feel like just keeping your mouth shut and not saying anything, not feeding into this, not falling for the trick, not falling into the trap. If you see them purposely trying to get you all riled up and in your feels, you're just like, nope. You're just like not giving them a word, not giving them any of your energy, nothing. You're not even thinking about this or focusing on this anymore. So there's definitely one party, the other party I'm getting can feel you're detaching from this. You are no longer up in your emotions. You're no longer stirred up. You're no longer overly passionate about this. You no longer have anxiety about this. You no longer really care about this, right? Like you're choosing to, like I said, empower yourself. You're not giving your power away to them. You're standing your ground here, and they can really sense that. So we have the Seven of Swords and the Magician. So 100%, there's this energy of someone putting on a show here. Someone is literally putting on a show currently, right now, because they think that it's going to, okay, with the Magician with the cards here, I'm getting this marionette type of energy. They think if they put on a show, they think they can put on a certain show and get some sort of reaction out of you here. Like you'll be so shocked at something, you'll be like so like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't expect you to do that, or that's so crazy. It's like it's so out of pocket or different. um it's like, yeah, they're plotting to put on some sort of show or some sort of presentation, and it's like a next level. It's like now that you have this energy and you're not paying attention, and you're just not giving them, you're not reacting, you're not responding, you're not saying anything, you just don't care. It's like, okay, their same old games and their same old tricks didn't work, right? You don't, they're not gonna be able to emotionally manipulate you in the same way. Like you freed yourself in some way here. So now it's like they have to put on an even bigger show, right? Like now it's like the presentation, it's like they're getting really over the top here. They're doing stuff that's like really crazy that they would have never done before, or it's just like really weird. And they still believe that they can get you back. Like they believe that they can get back into this cycle of having this power over you. They believe that just by doing this, that this will draw you back in, or this will allow them to regain control of the situation here, that they'll, with the strings here, that they'll be able to like control like your actions in the direction that you're going in again. And it's like you'll be curious of like how they did this, whatever this outlandish crazy thing is. It's like you'll be so curious how they did this, or it's like you'll be so drawn into this show here. And it's like they think that you're so stupid that you'll just see whatever they're doing on the outside and not think of like, okay, well, how did they do that? Like, what's the trick behind that? They just think you're going to be so alert and like drawn in by this, that it, they'll just be able to start instantly controlling you again, and you're not even going to question it. Or yeah, you'll be none the wiser, because you'll just be so like, yeah, this will just so like throw you off from everything here. And then all of a sudden they'll be able to start pulling the puppet strings again and start triggering you again, and like keeping you wherever they want, or moving you in whatever direction they want. Like they'll have your focus or your attention again. And you won't be wondering like, well, how did they do that? What's the secret behind that trick? Like, yeah, with the infinity, it's like get you back into this cycle. Like they feel confident that you'll like return home, like that this is just how it's always been, and this is how it's always supposed to be. Or they just feel this like confidence here that they'll be able to pull this off, or pull something off, or like draw you back into their tricks here. Man. And we have death. So yeah, it's like this is not working on you anymore. Like you've changed your response. You've seen something here. You have some sort of clarity. Like you could see how you were the problem, or the ways in which you were contributing to the situation. So you're readjusting that. Like now you're changing the approach that you have now, and there's no going back. Like it's not going to work for them. There's no going back to this, them being the puppet master, pulling the strings, controlling what you're doing here and how you're reacting, and what you've got going on, and making you stay up all night having anxiety about them and stuff. Like you're not going to go back to that energy, right? Like they're not going to like regain this power over you. Whatever is like died and changed within you and the situation within them, and the dynamic here, the power struggle, the power imbalance, um, is dead and gone. Like there's no going back to the way that it was, as much as this other person, you know, for whatever, I don't know why they would want to go back to that. But what's coming in is like, well, I know why, because it serves them, right? But it doesn't serve you. So this is fully cut away here. You can see that's like, okay, so there's all these flowers here, and it's so beautiful. And then this is like, this is everything that had to be cut off. I never even noticed this. I've had this deck for almost 3 years maybe, and it's one of my absolute favorite decks. I use it all the time, but I literally never noticed with this death card. He literally chopped away everything that's died and outgrown here. Um, Certain things are just like not growing anymore, right? Because they need trimmed and cut off, and let the dead go away here. But so there's no coming back. It's like certain things have been removed from the situation. It's like spirit came in and did like hedge work here, right? And got rid of everything that was no longer serving the situation from being able to grow and flourish into its most healthy situation, right? So that's you, right? Like from you being able to grow and flourish into your most beautiful and healthy potential. It's like spirit came in and it's like hacked a lot of this stuff out here and completely got rid of it. So but there's no going back to it. But it's like you wouldn't want to anyways, because nothing was growing from it anyways. It was just preventing the rest of the flowers from being able to like grow and develop, and get them like nutrients that they need in order to shine and be what they need to be, right? So that's like what this person was doing to you. They were literally stopping you from being able to like blossom into your best self, and um, just be everything that you could be, right? It was all this dead stuff here was not serving you at all. So spirit is like helping you to fully remove yourself from this in such a way that like there's no going back, right? So moving forward, we have the Justice and the Three of Cups. So if this person put you in third parties, or if they like gave to others more than they gave to you, that could have been the thing that like they would trigger you here. They could trigger you by like getting you all up in your feels, or making you feel some type of way by trying to make you jealous. They could have like hit on other people around you, been really promiscuous, showed off other people online, just did little things in order to get you in your feels, and ultimately they were just trying to like gain more control over the situation, using third parties in order to like stir you up and trigger you emotionally in order to gain a sense of control over the situation. I'm just also hearing though they could have given to others more than you, like their family or friends or coworkers, or like the people that were around them, like they could have been more invested in those people than you, but then they could have also used that as a tool to try and make you jealous, to try and keep you in the situation. It's like, okay, like if they're, I'm just hearing like if their family, they're trying to make you feel like their family had more to offer, so you had to really like prove yourself, or you had to like stay in the situation or stick in the situation until they like approved of you or something. They would use these other people as like leverage in order to be able to play games with you and like stir you up in some way. um but then they also could have used like other third parties, like yeah, they could have, like there's some people, boy or girl, or like to make their partner jealous, and so they'll go out in public and like flirt with other people or do certain things right in front of their partner, just so that to see how their partner will react, to see if their partner will get riled up and like get all jealous and like claim them or fight for them, or like start a fight with them, and just to see like if the other person really cares, or like if, you know, it's like if it means something to you, then you'll say something, or see how they'll say something, or it's like weird games and weird tests in order to like um yeah, keep someone's like attention here. So they could be really insecure, so they were felt like you were like gonna eventually not be interested in them, and so then they would like do this, and so then you would be like, oh, there's all these other people that are interested in them, and that would like trigger you into like um feeling like you couldn't go anywhere, or you really needed to stay here, like you really needed to like, but you maybe really already cared about them anyways, so that's really sad. But like from their mind, they just felt like at some point you were gonna like not really care and just like move on to the next thing or something, so then they had to like get bit crazier and crazier and crazier with their antics and their games in order to keep your attention. And part of that was like bringing other people in to be like, you know, see like, oh, see how much, look at how much there's other people that are like looking at them or drawn to them or want to be with them or excited by their tricks and their show. And there's like other people that are like buying the tickets to their show and are like really really excited about it, right? And so in order to try and trigger you to be like, oh, if there's all these other people that are really excited about their show, then maybe I need to see it too. Like whatever this new presentation they're putting on, it's like, oh, if all these other people are really excited about it, yeah, they could have like pretended to move on and bring someone else in the situation. So you're like, if that person is willing to sign up for the show that they're putting on, maybe they've changed, maybe it's gotten better. um because there is something that they changed here, like they're doing something more dramatically or presenting themselves in a more dramatic way. So yeah, they could have be using an outside party here in order to do that. Like, you know, then you're like, oh, if other people are like going to their show again and interested in what they're doing, then maybe there's something to it. Maybe they're, you know, whatever, maybe they have changed, maybe they are doing something in a different way here. And so um maybe I should buy into this again, right? And they think that this will get you interested in them again and interested in captivated by them again, and like not questioning them, right? And just not wondering like, well, what's really going on here? How did you really like figure out this new trick, or like what, you know, how did you really like discover this here? But it's like they're purposely just did this in order to get like other people's attention, or in order to please other people, so that yeah, it's like you using that jealousy factor of like, okay, well, uh now someone else wants them, and so is they think that it'll like make you realize what you're missing, or make you like want to come back and see them again, or um or okay, like it's like their old tactics didn't work, And so now they stepped it up and they actually went to another level of like bringing another person into the party, or they thought like, okay, this person's no longer interested in like, they're no longer buying what I have to sell here. Like they're no longer, playing my games anymore and doing all this stuff. And so they have to like, felt like they had to step it up and like bring someone else into the situation to try and make you jealous, or to try and show you what you were missing, or to make you feel like you were missing something, or make you feel like, okay, um, but it's like that didn't work, right? Like it didn't stir you up, it didn't get you back in your feelings, it didn't get you back in this staying up all night. Like they, maybe if they did bring another person, or if they did bring a third party in, they're thinking that you're going to get really triggered and get in your feelings, and like send them like more paragraphs, or like how you would like send them all these letters or send them all these messages with all these paragraphs, like freaking out about your feelings here, like communicating your feelings in this like really triggered, like the emotionally triggered way that you would before, where you would just like word vomit everything that you were thinking all over them. But it's like now this isn't working, right? This isn't happening this time. Your reaction has changed. Like you've changed. It's like you don't even care, right? If they did step up their games and like bring in another person now, or um that's a part of their game, and they've gotten even crazier in some way, then it's like um something is really like in the past for you, or like, yeah, the way that this used to affect you is really, it just genuinely doesn't affect you. Like something really has shifted or changed within you. And so it's like you're not putting on a game, you're not doing this to play the game back to them, right? Which they could be thinking or whatever, but this is just a genuine, it's like you've matured past this situation. This is no longer serving you in the same way that it was, and so you're just keeping to yourself. Like you're not reacting to this, you're not upset. Maybe they thought like, okay, if I finally, like if I take it to the next level and like involve another person here, then they'll really be jealous, they'll really see what they're missing, or then they really thought that would get you being like, oh, well, if someone else is interested in them, maybe they have changed. Maybe it is different, and then make you um, feel like you should like come back, or try and lure you back in and have power over you again. But you chose to like stay in your power, like I was saying in the beginning, and not react to this at all. Like you chose to it's like you feel like being silent or not saying something is going to go so much farther than anything you could ever possibly say at all, right? It's like you don't even care to win, you would just rather have peace. And so uh yeah, we have the justice with the three of cups, right? So it's like the second that they did this, the second that they leveled up to this third party energy, the second that they like got to this level of the games, or they could be doing that in the future, they could be planning to bring someone in here, but it's like that, then they're crossing the line, like now they're taking it too far. It's like you were already kind of past this, and this was already just like yeah, it's like a past cycle for you here, like the end of the way you were going about something here. You fully like cut something out here. Like, and that could have been, like I said, it's like you saw certain ways where you were the problem, or you were contributing to the problems. So you cut that out, or you changed that, or you worked on yourself in those ways. And then once you did that and you realize like, okay, I'm getting triggered and contributing to this too, and then you change that, it's like you no longer mesh or fit with the situation. You don't even click anymore, right? It's like it doesn't work out. So um they had to like go above and beyond, right, and try and do even more. And it's like as soon as they did this, as soon as they started messing around with another person or bringing another person into the situation, that was really the last straw, right? Because we have the heart and the head here. It's a skull. So it's what I'm getting from this is like, no matter how much you care about them, or no matter how much you really did love them, no matter how much love you have in your heart, like no matter how much compassion you had for this person, like with the heart, it's like you really did have a genuine love for them. Like your heart really did beat for this person at one point in time. You really did have like a soft spot in your heart, or a special place in your heart for them. But regardless, no matter how much you love them or loved them, what is what has happened here, the damage that's been done, the things that have caused this situation to go into this death energy. There's really no coming back from this, right? Like with the skull, it's like this is already in the this is yeah, the ways in which the way that it's ended here outweighs or equates to how much you cared about them. So it's like no matter how much you care about them, or no matter like the soft spot that you did once have for them, now um that no longer outshines like the damage that's been done, right? And the ways in which the connection that you had and the love that you have for each other has now kind of died, and you really don't feel that same, you've really matured past this here. So you have this clarity of like everything that didn't work out in the situation really equates to how much you really thought you loved them, or how passionately you really felt like, you may have felt like at one point like this was your person, or you just like had to be with them. But now you have so much more like perspective here, like with the eye here and the eye on the heart. It's like you have this divine perspective, and then there was also like this inner shift in your feelings here. So it's like your head and your heart are finally in agreement. You're no longer like choosing to be soft to this person, or like go against, you may have kind of like went against your logic or like what you knew here, just because the feelings that you had for them were so genuine, and that was just so hard. Like for so long that really overpowered or outshined like what was going on here and what they were doing. But they were just causing so much damage to the relationship that now it's like something really had to be like cut away here. And it's like everything that, yeah, had to be cut away and readjusted, especially now that they went and did this. And it's like now that they went and brought this third party in, it's really over. Like in your eyes and your heart and your mind, it's really over. It's really done. This is really the end of this. Like there's no way you would get like re-triggered and try and fight for them, or whatever they think is going to happen. Like you're not buying into this show. And so now this is truly the end here. Like this is truly caused something to some major facet of this relationship or connection or whatever is going on here is actually coming to an end here, and there's no going back, right? It's like fully decayed. And so even though you still really care about this here, it's like the feelings that you have don't outweigh, the disrespect, or it's like the ways in which you deserve better here, or you could have so much more, or there's just something there's like life lost here. It's like you just don't have the same connection that you once had. Like it would never be the same again now after this. And so maybe before they would just like play little games with you. Maybe they did smaller, subtle things, like just kind of like flirt with other people or do certain things online or whatever. And it was like already inching you towards like the point of no return. And then now they finally did something in such a way here with someone else that it's like, there's no coming back from this. This is not going to work out for them the way that they thought that it would, like matter of factly. So yeah, you're just not reacting. So from them, they're like, oh my gosh, like they really don't care anymore. Like this other person is having this huge realization, like, or they will through the process of you like choosing to, and then I'm also getting like you choosing to stay in your power, stand your ground, not react, not say anything. This is like balancing the scales. Like in the past, if you really let them have power over you, or you really let them control you, in the sense of like I said, you would stay up all night, like a lot of the times you would fall for it and react the way that they wanted you to, and stick around in the situation. And so now for you choosing to just not care, to pull your power back, not let them, not react to anything they're doing, it's like balancing out here. It's like balancing the scales. It's like, any power or anything within you, any of your energy that they took or like stole from you over time here, that they were just kind of like used to having, it's like you're balancing out the scales. You're taking yourself back. Um, Through like learning to stand your ground, it's like learning to honor yourself, like even in the future, like this is really going to benefit you. um but because of this, it's really causing the other person to see things differently here too. So then they're like, oh my gosh, they do not care anymore. Like they feel like you're just like cold here. Like yeah, you just have no reaction. I said that so many times, but uh yeah, they can clearly see like you don't care to fight for this situation. And so it's like a huge, I'm hearing that like this person's going to have this huge ego death from this situation. But it's like at first they're going to victimize themselves because they're going to be like, "Oh, they just don't care. Like they just don't care about me." And they're going to make themselves the victim. And then eventually once this third party ultimately probably gets pissed off and realizes they were being used as well, um then that's probably when the ego death is going to come and they're going to be like, okay, um right, like I pushed this person to the point where they have nothing to say to me now, right? It's not because they just didn't care about me. You know, they actually did really really love me and care for me here, and I just kind of weaponized that against them to keep them in this state here where I had, you know, emotional power and control and like over your like mental state here and like your sense of peace. Like they could ruin your night or give you anxiety or do whatever just like so easily, and they would do that just to feel secure or to feel like they like had you in the situation and you weren't going anywhere, which is really really sad because I'm just hearing that like you just really you authentically really like liked them and cared about them all on your own. Like they never needed to do all of this in order to keep you or to make sure they'd always have you. It actually did the opposite, and now and you have nothing to say to them. It's like even if this person was going through like a major life crisis in their life, like you would have nothing to say. Like you would be like, well, why don't you go call someone else? Like, you know, or this other person or whoever else, like that they were trying to like use here to like trigger you or to gain their power back with you. You would be like, well, run around and have little honey then, you know, like you literally just don't care. Like you're like, marry her for all I care. Like, so, um, is really, really huge for this person. Like it's really throwing them off. We're getting this one card out of the spill the beans deck here. We have brainstorming, ideas, problem solving, figuring ish out. I feel like this is them. Like they're literally over there brainstorming, like, how do I trigger this person to come back to me? How do I get them in a state of emotional unrest so that even if they, okay, it's like this person, like I said, they loved to see you like riled up and like going off and like in your feels and like freaking out because then they know that like you really care. And I'm also hearing that that could have really turned them on. So that you guys could have had that toxic cycle where like you fight or like something happens and there's like they ignore you or there's like distance and then like you freak out, so then there's like a huge fight and then there's like this really passionate moment that comes after that because it's like when you would get all riled up in your feelings it would like really really turn them on and excite them or really make them feel loved or validated and cared about, which is really sad. And so they're trying to brainstorm how they can get this like electric, they want that like then when you guys would come back together and be intimate, there's like the sparks that would fly. It's like they're addicted to that like toxic type of up and down. They're really brainstorming how they can get that like spark or that connection back or just like kind of get you to come like, yeah, even if you come back in freaking out on them, arguing with them, telling them like how much you hate them and how horrible they are for like doing this or bringing this other person or whatever, like they just want to know that you care. And so they're trying to figure out how they can like stir you up again or get you all riled up. And um they just love it. Like that's what I'm just hearing. They just love it. Like they love that energy of just seeing you like up in your feels, or they just love it when you yell at them, or like super toxic. Some super toxic. Something that I'm picking up on there. It's like they really get off on that type of dynamic between you guys, or they really get off on like you going off or freaking out or like bitching at them or others, or they're seeing you like go off, or like when you send them the like all bold exclamation mark text like going off, like it like turns them on. It like they love that. They love to know that like you care about them. But it's such a toxic way of getting validation or like care from another person, and it's like puts the other person through like literal emotional distress, and it's not cool. It's really toxic. Pregnancy test: unsure, pregnancy, scared, positive, negative. So um so I just heard this could be something that they're using to stir you up, like with the third party. They could be trying, that could be a tactic that they're trying to use to trigger you. So I was like, they're trying to take it to new levels here. um or this could be something that you or the other person's going through. Take it however it resonates. A situation about to explode. Ish is about to pop off up in flames. So yeah, they're really pushing things to the limit here with this situation so that this will happen. Like what I'm hearing is they're over here brainstorming how they can have this moment here and get you to pop off and explode and fight with them and freak out on them and rage on them. And the more that it's not happening, this is actually putting them in this energy. The more that you're not reacting, the more that you're not exploding, the more that you're not freaking out or giving them any sort of attention here or drama or not communicating with them at all. Like you're just silent, you just don't care, right? The more that's it's putting them in this pressure cooker energy where they're literally about to freak out because they're just like, what's going on, right? Why don't they care? And so something I heard is like the more that this doesn't have, like this was their intention towards you, okay? They wanted to put you in this emotional unrest type of energy here where you're popping off. And that the more that like this doesn't work out, right? They're putting the third party. What the first thing I heard was it's they intended for you to explode, but it's actually going to be the third party. It's actually going to be the person that they are using in the situation to try and trigger you. The more that you don't react and it doesn't work, and the crazier and crazier they try and take it, the more out there they try and get with their tactics and their games here, then it's going to show, like the other person's going to be able to see what's going on. It's going to show, it's going to be apparent to the other person, and it's going to cause that third party person that they tried to use to trigger you to actually get to freak out and get triggered themselves, and to like the other person is going to blow up, and they may not have see the other person as like a big threat or whatever for some reason, but the other person is actually going to like freak out and show them like how powerful of a person they actually are. Like the other person's going to be like, oh, you thought you could use me? Well, let me just show you what I can do. You know, like this is going to be crazy. But I was also hearing like the more you don't react and the more you don't blow up and freak out and the more you're just cold, calm, collected, you don't care, keeping your composure, but it's putting them in this energy of like they're a ticking time bomb. They're the ones that are about to blow up and freak out. And then the third party sees that, and so then the third party starts popping off, and it's like the fight that they get in with the third party is not the same as like what they were looking for with you, is like to get you riled up and stirred up in your feelings. And like with you, it's like you would freak out on them and you guys would go off, but then it would end in this really passionate situation, right? Like you guys would come together and like work it out, right? Like intimately. And like this other person, what I'm hearing or what I'm getting from this is like the other person is actually like crazy. Like this other person that they brought into the situation, there's not like that sort of passionate connection with them. And they're going to feel like they're going to see this other person like this because you're not like this. And then they're going to feel really like slighted or used here, or just like upset. And so the emotion or the situation that's going to come out of the other person is going to be so different, because it's going to be this like they're just going to be like genuinely hurt and used and embarrassed and just like really genuinely upset here. But it's not going to be in such a way that's like going to end up in the bedroom after. Like it's going to end up like really hurtful and messy and leaving people with a lot of really really hurt feelings and damage, and like people having to heal from the situation moving forward. And it's really really unfair to like the third party here. So it's like their feelings and their reaction that come out of this, and them like kind of blowing up once they realize what's going on, is incredibly valid. So yeah, they could like already have a third party involved, or they could be like that's their plan. As things move forward, like as we move now that we're in Venus retrograde, it's like um that could be their plan for the retrograde, or like if they brought a third party in like during the pre-shadow, then their true intentions are going to come out during the retrograde, and then that's when things are really going to blow up and pop off. um so yeah, this is the key oracle. We have old conditioning release. It's time to release old conditioning and to step into a new way of being. The old story and past cycles of blame, shame, and guilt need to move out. Take inventory of what no longer resonates and what isn't your burden to carry. Unload what has been weighing you down. Yeah, I feel like they were keeping you in a cycle of like guilt and shame and all of these things, because they would like, even with this, they were trying to re-put you in that situation, because then they would make you feel like, put you in your feels and make you feel bad and make you feel like you made some sort of mistake, or like um yeah, you're missing some sort of opportunity with them. But like yeah, they were constantly trying to make you feel like whenever you would react and freak out and like get all passionate, then like I said, then you would feel like, okay, I'm not perfect, I'm making mistakes too, like I'm contributing to this cycle. um and so it's like you stay up, yeah, you just stay up so anxious about this, ruminating over this, like just giving all of your feelings to this, like checking to see like how much they've been online, like if they're pushing you away or just ignoring you, or like if they do push you away or ignoring you, you always blame yourself and your behavior and your actions. So then the next time you try and do better, so it's like constantly keeps you in the situation. So then you're never really like, they never take accountability, or you're never blaming them, it's like you're always blaming yourself, and they can just kind of like get away with whatever, and then it was no longer working, so then they had to make you feel threatened in some way. um they thought that would like put you back in this energy of like blaming yourself and being like, well, if I wouldn't have like pushed them away, or if I wouldn't have done this, or if I wouldn't have done that, or whatever, then things would have been different. And it's like maybe you guys are only really super passionate and intimate after you have these big explosive fights, and so you don't get a lot of that passion and validation otherwise, and so you almost kind of relate intimacy with this person in this like anxious, regretful, like negative energy. um or like then if they withhold this intimacy from you, or you're not having intimacy, or things aren't going well, then it's like you stay up all night like wondering why, or wondering how to fix it, or like what's going wrong, or like why you guys can't connect, or how you can do something to. But it's like they want you in that energy, because then they have control over you, like they want you in this constant energy of giving you all of their attention, and fixating on them completely, and like how to fix things with them and move things forward with them and connect with them. And um but now it's like you just don't care, like you're not focused on this, you're not even saying anything to them. It's like whatever you see happening, it just is what it is, like you're just accepting it for what it is. So um yeah, that is like starting to step away from, you're no longer blaming yourself, you're no longer ashamed of your reactions and the way that you react and stuff. And you're no longer feeling like it's your fault, like even though you did do certain things to contribute to it, and you would like, like it would work, and you would let them trigger you and like totally freak out and like say things you didn't mean, or say things you regret, or just act in a way that's like not your character and you really regret. It's like you're no longer blaming yourself for that, because you can see this like manipulative show that they were trying to put on. Like you can see how they purposely do certain things to get you out of pocket to act like this in order to keep you in the situation here. Um, So yeah, it's like you see the cycle that it is rather than like blaming yourself and thinking that these are things that like you need to work on. Um, yeah, you no longer feel guilty for the way like their actions, right? You're no longer blaming yourself for their actions. It's not your fault. Like, especially if they're like doing things like this, or like, is you now have the clarity here that it's like if they're going to choose to like do certain things to damage the integrity of the relationship or risk ending things with you, that's not your fault, right? Like, you can like mourn the loss of this and like really care about them here without like taking on all of their burdens and their struggles and their problems. It's like now you have this understanding of like what's your issue and what's their issue. And now you don't feel like you need to take on all of their problems as yours. And so now you don't need to like stay in the situation and continue to try and fight with them and try and like fix it with them and communicate through things, because you realize like that's not your responsibility. That's not your shit. Like, that's not your baggage. That's not um something that you're doing or you're contributing. So it's not something that you need to work on, right? Like, you don't need to take on all of this other person's demons and the things that they need to work on and grow through in their life. Past life karma cycles. This indicates a past life is the reason why the intense energy surrounds you, the person, or situation. Look into ways to clear past life karma and see the bigger picture of the situation by viewing it from a lesson perspective. Taking ownership for your part and forgiveness are key in releasing past life karma. 100%. So now that you've been able to take ownership for what you're doing in your part and release it and change it and no longer react that same way, you don't need to feel guilty. Like, you don't need to, now that you change what you're doing, you're like, okay, then um, I don't need to blame myself. I don't need to take on responsibility for this. It's like I've done what I can to try and fix the past or change the past. And so if this person still wants to play these games and in fact level up to new variants of the games and like bring other people in here and do all this crazy stuff, then it's just like finally it's like the clarity you finally needed to be able to realize that there is no coming back from this, and like the damage that they've done here does not outweigh like the feelings and the emotions and the love that you had for them, like I said. But yeah, I like this. You could have known this person like in a past life, and so you guys were meant to come together to like work out certain karmas now in this life, to like rebalance things out based off of what's happened in the past, like literally in past lives, or it could just be like in the past in your guys' relationship, different dynamics that you guys have. And now it's like, by like I said, by you standing in your power and not reacting to this anymore, then you're balancing that karma out. Like, you're balancing, you're restoring the scales here. But it could be like residual karma actually from past lives. This, like, you went through many cycles like this with this person, and so now in this life you're finally being tested with them in such a way that you're able to overcome and balance this energy out and truly like let it go and release it once and for all. Like, come out on top of it stronger here, more complete, whole, human. Yeah, that's all I have for pile two. So thank you so much. If you watched this far, if this resonated with you, you can click the link in the description to book a personal reading. But I hope you have a really, really good night.